My name is David Butler. Some folks know me as Dave Has Wings. I am a co-founder of Hue House, and I do a bunch of things that are all creative and are part of my lifestyle. From working at Coca-Cola and corporate supply chain, and even dating back further to that, just being super active in college at Winston-Salem State University, being active in student government, graduating as student body president, sitting on the board of trustees, and being a public institution, having to understand state politics and how that would affect my representation and advocacy for my constituency at that time. Like I said, through my corporate experience, through working in the world of retail and sneakers and fashion, all of that has played a role in me being prepared to properly take on the tasks that come with starting your own business, that come with representing a specific group of people or specific interests, and also being able to just connect dots for people and be creative in how you find solutions to problems, which is, as an entrepreneur, pretty much what you do on a day-to-day basis. So it just, to know that there's a space, that we've created a space that we can show them in theory and in practice what it looks like to be a creative entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And then for those who fit into the work that we do as Hue House to be able to take from that pool and scale them up and get them automatically like the same thing that they were haggling with people on Instagram to do for $250 or for $500, and now put them in a position where they can do it for $5,000 is a game changer.
Right, because they now know their value and their worth.
Exactly. Right. Just to be able to show them that and to walk them through that and to let them know, like, it's because after you get past the base level, right? Like after you get past the brass tacks of, do you have an EIN? Can you fill out a W-9? Do you have an LLC? Whatever it is, you have to understand then the soft skills and the networking portion of what it takes to really continue to have that $5,000 a gig or $10,000 a gig or $50,000 a gig clientele. And that's to be able to accelerate that process for so many people and to know that there are so many people that need it and to be able to see that on a consistent basis, and then to be able to use the publication to keep them inspired when we don't meet is a true blessing and is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Knowing that just that family heritage and knowing that my family was a part of literally integrating schools, was considered the good Negroes to be able to send your kids into that environment to integrate those schools and things like that. That's what my mother and my father experienced. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's a different ball game. That's a different ball game, and I got to tip my hat to that generation because everybody like to be like, I ain't my ancestors, blah, blah, blah.
I would have done. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always tip my hat to all of the generations that laid down the foundation for Hue House to exist.
For sure.
You know what I mean? All of the, the Jets and the Black Enterprises of the world, the Essences of the world. All of that, all of them create space for this, but this is a new lens. This is the 2.0.
Absolutely.
It's not just existing in the industry, but it's creating space for more people to exist in the industry. You know what I'm saying? As much as possible, and doing that with that in mind. Again, using the structure for it.
And not only exist, but to thrive.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
And in the short term, I really see Hue House obviously solidifying operations, continuing to build our community with the block, continuing to be a platform for creative entrepreneurs of color and artists of color, and just expanding and really leaning in on our mission of decolonizing the advertising and marketing industry and onboarding more Black and brown creatives into the industry. In the long term, again, I think it just that sustained impact. So what does that look like at scale? We know now that very little of the advertising industry and the marketing industry has, Black representation, whether you talk about top leadership, contractors, independent businesses. So I think really it's just how do we have that tidal, we see that tidal wave effect, 10 years from now, where Hue House was the beginning of a renaissance of Black agencies and Black creatives really being intentional about penetrating these industries that are attempting to speak to and sell stuff to our people and to our community, and control that messaging and control that narrative. And I think, hopefully we can be a beacon and a platform to teach people to do it in a way that they're most comfortable with, whether it is you having to start your own business or whether it is you going to infiltrate a brand and hold them accountable to the things that they say they want to do, or giving back and community being your main focus, whether it be any of those things. Hopefully we can just continue to be a platform down the line to make it a lot easier for people to be able to do that ultimately. I think that's where I see us as, just, institutionalized, large, at scale, sustained community impact as it relates to Black creativity and the marketing and advertising industry.